Carole. Nancy Carole, the class of 52, and we're all happy to have you here tonight. There's probably about over 200 people here, and it's good to see everybody. And our class has come from all the way from New York, all the way to Washington, Montana, Utah, and Florida. So thanks for coming.
And who's this next to you, Nancy?
This is Jack Babcock. He's the class of 51.
Hi. Welcome. We're very pleased that we have such a sensational turnout here tonight for the 51-52 class reunion. The class of 51 has about 116 people that we know of that are coming, maybe a few that are going to show up at the last minute. Class of 52 has 122 people, and it's a great event. This is our 50th anniversary of our class, and their class is right behind us at 49, but this is going to be their 50th also. And we're very pleased to have everybody here. This is a good turnout, and we're going to have a fun evening.
Any special words you want to say to the ones who are not here, Jack, the people that couldn't make it?
We're really sorry that you were unable to make it, because this is going to be a fun evening. The class of 51 last night had a very nice evening, a cocktail party before. The class of 52 is going to have a barbecue tomorrow afternoon at Ann and John Reynolds' place, so I'm sorry you missed it. I don't know whether we're going to have another one after this, but if we do, you better make it, because I don't know how many more we're going to do after this. Right, Nancy?
That's right, Jack.
Anything you want to say to your classmates who couldn't make it to this one?
Yeah, I'm really sorry there's some that couldn't make it at the last minute. We had Art Seiler, which would be his first time, but his daughter was in New York, and he lost it for a couple of days. But he wishes everybody happy reunion. Thank you.
Frank Pierce from Walnut Creek Grammar School days. Huh? Class of 51.
Doug Hockett, class of 51.
Mike Schaefer, class of 52.
Don Bearden, class of 51.
I'm a land developer, retired, and I live in southern Utah down by Zion Park. I've got 14 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren.
A little about your life.
In 30 seconds, correct? Okay. Aeronautical engineer, real estate broker for the last 27 years, 2 kids, 4 grandchildren.
Predict how the real estate market's going to be over the next couple of years.
Wonderful.
I retired from the Shasta County Sheriff's Office after 30 years. I'm living in Redding, California.
Any kids?
One child, one daughter.
Don Bearden, class of 51. Live in Santa Rosa. Worked with U.S. Steel here in Pittsburgh for a while, and then worked with bank up in Santa Rosa. Have 2 kids, 3 grandkids.
Okay, just one more question for you guys. What do you remember about your days back in high school, Alkali East High? What do you remember about that time, Don?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I wish high school at the present day was like we enjoyed it back in 1950.
How about you, Mike?
It was a lot of fun. It was a good school. Yep.
Same, except I was one to get out.
It was a great school and good teachers and a very successful class.
Okay, my name is Shirley Knipe, and I was in the class of 1952. I live in Simi Valley, California.
I'm Joyce Moss Plattner. I live in Sacramento now.
Your class of?
Class of 52.
Francie Laugesen Wolford. We live in Depot Bay, Oregon. Smallest harbor of the world, class of 52.
Now, what would 3 girls do for fun back in 1952? What do you remember? Where would you go on a Friday night? Hangout spot.
Pizza. Pizza was a big thing in 1952 for me.
Drive-in? Yeah. I don't remember the name of that drive-in, but there was a drive-in we used to go to.
Yeah. Drive-in and sitting in the senior hall.
Now, so far in your life, what would you say you're most proud of? Something you've done, a highlight of your life that you're proud of? What would it be?
Highlight of my life was taking care of developmentally disabled adults.
Give me one hobby you have today, Francis.
Pardon me?
Give me a hobby you have.
Gardening.
What are you most proud of in your life, Joyce?
I guess accomplishing the raising 5 children, 4 of them boys, and my hobbies, square dancing.
How about you, Shirley?
I'm currently semi-retired. I'm working with disabled young persons, and that's kind of the highlight of my life now. My hobby is raising, training, and showing dogs.
I'm Nancy Cotterill, Carlson Cotterill, class of 52, and I'm in Moraga presently.
I'm Kitty Davis Maxwell, and I'm class of 52, and I live in Pleasant Hill.
Yeah. Class of 52, Charlotte Farrell Ketterer. I live in Willow Glen, which is part of San Jose.
And I'm Chris Johnson Hodge, class of 52, and I live in Los Angeles.
Now, were all 4 of you friends in high school?
Yes.
Yes.
What was Chris like in those days?
The same.
Same?
As charming as ever. Yeah, she's just...
What was Kathleen like, Charlotte?
My gosh, that's too complicated.
Were you kind of quiet in those days, or kind of...
Really quiet in those days.
Do you think your personality has changed at all, Christine, since high school? Have you changed?
Possibly. Kitty was always a lot of fun.
What are you doing these days with your time, Christine? What about your life?
Well, I teach at a center for developmentally disabled adults.
Has your personality changed, Charlotte?
I hope so.
What are you doing these days?
Retired.
From what?
I'm sorry,
Where are
what?
you retired from?
Social work.
Are you married?
No?
How about you, Kathleen?
Well, I'm retired also from employment manager at John Muir Medical Center.
How about you?
Yes, I'm retired from oral surgery, but I have 36 piano students in Moraga. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nancy Lawrence Southard, and I live in Santa Barbara. What was the third thing? I'm the class of 51. And,
Called me today.
Hi, I'm Valerie Spelisi, and I live in Walnut Creek, and I'm the class of 52.
Hi, I'm Bobby Lawrence. I'm in the class of 51, excuse me, and I live in Alamo.
When you think back about your days at high school, what do you remember about that time, Barbara? When you think back about all the time you spent out on ice? Would you say you had a good time in high school?
Oh, yes, very much.
Did you have a favorite teacher, maybe? One that stands out?
I can't really, Winchester. Mr. Winchester was one of my favorite teachers.
What do you remember, Valerie?
The senior year was great. We just played all year. And my favorite teacher was Mr. Lord.
And I really enjoyed my junior year. I had a fabulous time. And my favorite teacher was Miss Richardson because she taught me a lot about art and painting, and I'm an artist now.
Tell me about your life these days, a little about what you're doing.
Well, I'm down in Santa Barbara, and I just paint almost every day, and my family's around me, and it's a really beautiful life. I'm very happy. So it's great to be here and see everybody.
What are you doing these days, Valerie?
Oh, I take care of kitties. I'm a kitty sitter, and my company is exclusively cats. And I'm, quote, retired and having a lot of fun.
How many kitties do you take care of on a given day?
Today I had about 12.
And I'm playing quite a bit of golf, and the more I can do, the better I like it. And all my children are here, and life has been really very good.
Arditi from class of 52. My name is Walsh now, but when I was Narditi, I had so much fun, and I absolutely love all my Akalani's classmates.
Hi, I'm Barbara Wheel Dutro. This is my husband Cliff. We have a business in Martinez called Americal. We're selling flags and banners. Come and see us. The business is Americal. Thank you.
Ready? My name's Don Feibush. I'm a class of 1952, and I'm from Fernley, Nevada.
Picture for posterity.
Hey, the wonderful group here. There's 3 times as many people as I've ever seen
Jerry
in here
McCauley.
before. Isn't that nice? And it just worked great, just great.
What's your name?
Jerry McCauley. Thank you. Class of 52. No Jack Daniels with me right here.
Class of 52, Jack Daniels. We live over in Danville now.
Jerry, what was Jack like in high school?
If there was
Be honest.
all the gals, we all had to chase him away because he had all the gals. He was really
Nice
good.
guy.
What was Jerry like?
Jerry, he always had a smile, and he always combed his hair because he had hair, and I don't have any hair now, but he was the greatest guy I knew.
What was Don like?
Don was always involved in everything we did, and I never knew a guy that got his finger in all the pies that we did.
Now, Jack, when you got out of high school, what did you want to do? Do you remember? Did you end up doing that or something different?
Yeah, I wanted to be a naval officer, and I did that for 8 years. I flew off aircraft carriers.
What have you been doing since then?
I fly for United Airlines. I love it.
And you're married?
I am married to my beautiful wife here, Maureen.
And how long have you been married?
18 years.
How'd you first meet Jack? Where were you?
At our gym, 24-hour Nautilus.
He was on the treadmill, you couldn't resist?
No, I didn't know how to use the equipment, and he kept coming over to me and saying, "May I show you how to use that?"
So you were picking up on her at the gym, huh?
Well, you know how it is. You know, when she's using the equipment backwards, you got to help her.
And give me one hobby you have today, Jack.
Running. I love to run.
Jerry, what'd you want to do when you got out of high school? Do you remember?
They're doing rebuilding engines and hot rod cars, things like that, which I've stayed with and still doing today, which is, what, 50 years later?
Tell me one of the hot rods that you own. What's your favorite car?
Oh, my God.
Oh, going back into 40 Fords, the 36 Fords were always the real good ones. The older ones, these new cars today don't have the class that the old cars had.
I'm not married now. I'm divorced, and I've been divorced for about 25, 30 years. I lived in Sacramento for 32 years, and now I live in Nevada, and I'm retired, and I volunteer at 2 different senior centers in Nevada. I'm on the site council on one. I plan trips, take them to the doctor, and take vets to the veterans hospital, whatever they need, and just really do a lot of enjoyment, volunteer work.
My name is Norris Hinton. I'm in the class of 1952.
How far did you travel to get here, Norris?
From Fallon, Nevada. I don't know, 300 miles.
How many days a week do you walk into a casino?
As little as possible. I like my money.
You go back and relive those days at Alkalani's High. What would you change about them? The way you were, anything else?
I'd probably socialize a little more. I ran around with a very small group, so I didn't know a lot of people.
What are you doing these days, Norris?
I'm still working. I work for Nevada Division of State Parks. I'm in maintenance, take care of the water stations and things like that.
Hi,
My name is Claude McPhee, the old fart in a wheelchair, 68 years old actually, and still hanging in there. As another survivor, and glad to be here. This is my wife Barbara. On my right, we've been married. Next month will be 45 years, and happy to be married 45 years. We've been living in Walnut Creek in the same house for 42 years, and we love it. We've seen Walnut Creek go from a very small town, and I moved here in 1941 and really seen it grow. And just want to say hello to all my classmates, and also the class of 52. Had a lot of friends there too, and hello to everybody. And you know, have a good reunion tonight, and look forward to many years down the road. And let's do it again in maybe 5 years. We'll have another reunion, and we'll all get together, and maybe there won't be quite as many of us there, but we'll do the best we can. Great.
My name's John Reynolds. I live in Piedmont, California. My class is 1952.
And who's this guy next to you, John?
That's Ed Groove. He's my great friend from, where are you from?
Oh, okay. I live in San Juan Island in the Puget Sound area. And again, the class of 1952.
And what was John like in high school, Eddie?
The same as he is right now.
We don't change much. It's just variations on the same mutation.
So there you go. Tell me about your life since high school, Eddie.
Beg your pardon? What you've been doing since high school? Oh, I've been doing a variety of things. I was in banking and in real estate and real estate valuation. Right now I'm a gardener, and I love gardening. I found that people aren't angry who are in gardening, and so that's what I do now.
Are you married?
Yes. 2 children, and my wife is from Manhattan, 30 years in Manhattan, second marriage, and she's a wonderful woman and likes living on the island as well.
And what are you doing these days, John?
Well, Ann and I are the only 2 high school sweethearts that got married and are still married, so that we're an anomaly of the class. I'm a real estate developer and I build things. I love to build things, so I'm continuing to do it.
I'm Kay Dana, class of 1952. I live in Hayward.
Pat Fearing, class of 1952. I live in Martinez.
Sam Dickey, class of 1952, San Ramon, California.
Now, Pat, did you date either one of these guys back in high school?
Yes, Richard.
Yeah.
Where'd you take her? Do you remember?
Well, I'm a Scotchman, but most of the time we out for dinner. Dancing and this and that, parties and things.
Now, Sam, tell me what Kay was like in high school.
Oh, he used to like to have a lot of fun. And we've known each other for many, many, many years. We still stay very close, Kay and I.
We've kept in touch. Dick and I have kept in touch over the years. Our wives were good friends.
And you're losing your voice tonight, huh?
It's been going for a long time.
Talking too much tonight to people.
Talking, right.
Well, Sam, tell us about your life these days. Married, kids, you retired?
Retired almost 5 years in the food business, yeah. 3 kids, 2 grandchildren, and having a lot of fun.
Give me one hobby.
Are you kidding? J-A-Z-Z, jazz. Since I was 16 years old, yeah. I go to every jazz festival around.
Do you play an instrument?
No, just a listener. I go with my buddy Claude McPhee, who's in class of 51, and we're inseparable as far as our music goes. So we spend a lot of time together. Yeah, he's here tonight too.
How about you, Pat? A little about your life these days.
I'm married. We have 3 grown children, 2 grandchildren in Hawaii, and we do a lot of traveling.
I know your voice is going tonight, but let's try.
I have 2 fine sons in the area and 2 grandchildren. I do a lot of babysitting, a lot of hiking, and a lot of volunteer work. Keep busy.
Leanne Pasquini Severson. I'm now living in Lafayette after 30 years in the East, class of 1952.
Barbara Lewis Meyer, living in Livermore and class of 52.
Carole Rucker McPherson. I'm living in Santa Cruz, California, class of 52.
Janet Clough Catlin. We live in the Gold Country in Mountain Ranch above San Andreas. Love it.
Now, I want to know, what would 4 girls do for fun back in 1952? Tell me where you went on a Friday night or on the weekend.
Well, sometimes we had slumber parties and people came over. We'd stay up all night, not sleeping at a slumber party.
Yes. We had a pool and a lot of people came and we'd swim and have a lot of fun and dance sometimes around the pool.
And a lot of football games and a few basketball games. We had a good time.
One more question for you. So far in your life, you could pick out one thing you've done that you're pretty proud of. What do you think it would be? Some highlight in your life that you've done.
Moving to Mountain Ranch and working at our local hospital, I loved it.
Did you get married?
Yes, oh yes.
How many children?
2.
What are you most proud of, Carole? Something you've done.
Well, I am crazy about my 3 daughters, and I'm very proud of the work that I do for Planned Parenthood.
How about you, Barbara?
I started and for years ran the school program at Lindsay Junior Museum, and it was very rewarding, as well as my own family.
Well, I tremendously enjoyed San Jose State, met my husband there, have 2 wonderful children. That's about as good.
My name is Shauna Kennedy, and all 6 of us are all on the Acalanes Blueprint, which is the school paper, and we're here to take pictures, some of us, and then others are here to do a story about this whole reunion and like how things have changed at Acalanes and just what's happening with Acalanes.
Are you going to go to your 50-year reunion?
Definitely, of course.
Now, just tell me your names. I know you're shy, but...
Allie Wilcox.
I'm Lauren Koska.
Shauna Kennedy.
And I'm Sahar Nasseri.
Ryan Jung.
How does it feel working with 5 girls?
It's fabulous.
Kelly Dominic.
Okay, Rich Thompson, class of 51.
You're living in?
South Lake Tahoe, California.
Hi, Art Dull, class of 51. I'm local here in Walnut Creek.
John Biasotti, class of 51. Live in Clayton, California.
Frank Tyke, class of 51. I live in Pittsburgh, California.
Bob Gorman, class of 51. I live in Roosevelt, California.
Hey guys, I want to ask you, when you got out of high school, what did you want to do? Do you remember? And did you guys end up doing that or something completely different?
I wanted to avoid the draft.
I had a family business that I went into and just retired about 4 years ago.
What kind of business?
Unfinished furniture in Berkeley, and I didn't avoid the draft. I was in the Army for about 2 years.
You're married?
Married with 3 children and 7 grandchildren.
And what did you want to do out of high school? Do you remember?
I got drafted. Went to Cal Poly, became a mechanical engineer. Got a wife, will be 45 years next week, and 4 kids and 6 grandkids.
And what did you want to do, John, when you got out of high
I
school?
had no idea what I wanted to do, so I went to college. And after that, got drafted and was in the service for 2 years and married now for 40 years with 3 children and 2 grandchildren.
How about you, Art?
I wanted to teach. I didn't know what, and went to College of Pacific in Stockton. Also wanted to be an NFL referee. Never made it. So
They should have hired you when they went on strike.
absolutely, though it's a tough job.
How about you, Richard?
How about what? When I got out of high school, go to college, and then got drafted, and then I got out of there and went to work. Okay, I went to work for the jacuzzi industries, and did that for 15 years. Traveled all over the world. Got about 6 ex-wives and a handful of kids, and now I'm single and I'm staying that way.
Just one more question for the 5 of you. When you think back about all the time you spent in high school, was there one incident you remember the most? Maybe one thing that stands out that happened to you or during school?
When I rolled my 41 Plymouth convertible.
Did you get hurt?
No, nobody did. There's 4 of us in the car and no one got hurt.
No seatbelts?
Absolutely not. Not in those days.
What do you remember?
I can't think of any particular thing that was bad.
Did you have a good time in high school?
I had a great time. Always had a great time.
Can you think of anything, John?
Yeah, we must have had a class of bad drivers. I totaled out my 47 Chevy, and I remember didn't get injured either.
How about you, Art?
This must be the accident prone. I had my driver's license, I think, 2 weeks, and was driving on El Toyanal in Orinda, one of the curvy parts, and had a head-on crash at about 10 miles an hour.
So you didn't get hurt either?
No.
Rich wrecked 5 cars in high school.
I never did any of those things.
What do you remember, Rich, when you think back about that time?
I only wrecked 5 cars. That's probably right. I remember borrowing Bob's motorcycle and cruising on that.
You still ride a motorcycle today?
Yes.
Okay. Steve Lawrence, 51 Fall River Mills.
And just tell about your life these days, Steve, what you're doing. Retired? Still working?
I'm still working.
What do you do?
I farm. We raise black rice and Timothy hay for Japan.
And you're married?
I am married.
You need children?
No children. I got a whole bunch of children.
Thanks, Steve.
I'm Bunny Munn Maxey. I live in Salem, Oregon. I'm a retired elementary teacher. I have 2 children and 3 grandchildren.
I'm Naira York Gibson, and I'm class 51, and live in Auburn, and have 4 children and 5 grandchildren, and love gardening, and that's about the most active thing I do right now. That's it.
What about you, ma'am?
I'm Patricia McCausland, Ogden. I live here in Walnut Creek in class of 51. Retired from the printing business with 3 stepchildren.
Hi, I'm Roger Lundgren, class of 51, and I live up in Paradise outside of Chico. I'm an owner of a Century 21 franchise. Got a lot of good folks, don't have to go to work much anymore, and so we're just enjoying life.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Again? You always have had.
Oh, gosh. I'm Carole Courtwright Harding, and I was class of 51 and now live in Sebastopol, north of San Francisco.
I'm Gordy Hooper, class of 51, and live at Lake Tahoe. Been there for 35 years.
Janet Jancy Bruner. We live in Lafayette. Class of 51.
I'm Dodie B. Bartz, and class of 51, and we live in Great Eagle. Nobody knows where it is, northwest of Truffy, by an hour.
Judy Woolsey, or should I say Woolsey, Isaac, and I'm class of 51, and I live in Nevada.
Now, George, which of these girls did you date in high school?
All of us.
We were in grammar. We were also in grammar school together. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's the nicest name I've been called in a long time.
Now, I want the 5
I gave it a try, but it never worked with any of them.
I got a box of chocolates from him. I got a box of chocolates from him in the 8th grade.
Is there anyone not here from your class you really wish you could have seen tonight? Can you think of any friends or...
Yeah, there's several, but their names are drawing blank. Now, Marilyn Kittredge is one.
Yes.
And, oh well, come back and I'll have it.
That was one, and I think several have passed away that I would have loved to have seen.
Karen Tynes, Marilyn Kittredge, Shirley Daniels.
Yes, Shirley
We
Daniels.
wish they were here. And we all happen to have been in the 8th grade together.
Shirley Daniels, Darlene Rietzler.
You're both mom.
That's right. And Tom Romer.
Well, I'm thinking of Nancy Tinkham, who was in our
That's right.
first grade class, and she's not here, so.
One more question for the 5 of you. Just tell me about your life these days. Still working, married, kids? Give me a hobby that you like.
Oh, you asked the right person. I am a golfer. I travel all over the country to play, and all of my kids have to play, and now all their spouses have to play. So my grandkids are going to play too. We have a wonderful time. That's it.
We live in Grey Eagle. We love the country. We travel to Europe a lot because our youngest son is in the religious life. And what else was I supposed to answer?
Hobbies like gardening.
Oh, I love to garden and paint and hike. and canoe. But only for 2 hours at a time.
Rich and I do whatever takes us to the out of doors, and whenever our grandchildren can be with us, we are happy about that. We are in Montana, where Rich loves to fish, and we are in Lafayette, and we are at Lake Tahoe enjoying our grandchildren.
Well, in addition to our place at Tahoe, we have a small little farm down in the foothills, and my wife has a number of horses and some cows and chickens, and so she calls me the entrepreneur of horse manure. So.
That's a wonderful name for me. Oh, as little as possible.
Do you have a hobby?
Yes, I paint. Not often enough, but at least once a week.
Spin wool?
No. Just follow around my friends. And I think it should be added that Judy is professional class golfer.
You're looking at me because I can't get a bad eye. Bob Fox, graduated in *51 from Acalanes, and I live in Concord, California. And
you were on the committee. What was your job?
Well, just tried to find people.
Finder. Don Sevatusik, class of *51, live in Danville, and retired banker, so I'm the treasurer.
Jack Babcock, I live in Orinda, class of '51 also, and I was the class president, so I got all the crap.
Pat Birmingham Petrini, I live in Danville. I was just the gopher.
Roger Dunn, '51, Orinda, and that guy Fox that you just interviewed is probably one of the ugliest guys in our class, and he's had 2 facelifts.
How's that make you feel?
No, I've had 3 facelifts. He's wrong.
I'll let you get back at him. What was he like in high school?
The same as he is now, just absolutely miserable. He hasn't smiled in 50 years.
And I'm Claudia Grassi Pierce, and I put the book together for the class, and that was my assignment. And I'm just here, having a good time. I live in St. George, Utah.
Now tell me what you remember about your days back in high school. Is there one incident that stands on your mind? Maybe something that happened?
One incident, gosh.
To you or during school?
Yeah, she got married.
Yeah, I got married just before we graduated, and these guys were all my best friends.
Have you changed at all since high school?
Well, yes, absolutely. Foxy over there changed me. He's not a good friend. No, but we still talk once in a while.
Tell me what you did back in '51 for fun. What would you do for fun back then?
Oh. You know what? A little bit of that. A few girls, you know.
Did all the girls love him?
No, certainly. No, but I'll tell you one thing. All his life, he's had a very even disposition. He's always crabby.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, what do you remember, Pat, when you think back?
Had a great time. My grades were terrible, but I did make it out. So.
Has your personality changed since then?
I don't know. I don't think so. No.
She's always a sweet, lovable gal. That's just sweet. And she is today, just exactly the way she was then. She's prettier today. She's prettier today, but she's
a lot shorter.
She's the matriarch of our class, and she's the queen. She's the best of them all.
Good.
And what do you remember about that time? Did you play any sports?
I remember Pat. She was great.
How about you, sir?
I just love the class because they were so active and participatory and coalesced in everything we did. It was just a fabulous experience in high school. Great group.
Well, school-wise, they were the best years of my life. It was the happiest times ever going to school with these kids. They're great, and they haven't changed a bit. They're wonderful.
Monday morning.
I feel very lucky. Very lucky.
It's Barbara Warren, Barbara Dawson Warren, the class of '52, and I live in El Dorado, California.
My name is Jack Ogden. A class of '52, and I live right here in Walnut Creek within a mile of this hotel.
Hi, I'm Kathy Manning, or I live half the time in Walnut Creek, California, half the time in Yosemite National Park, and I'm the class of 1952.
Hi, Owen Babcock, class of 1952. I'm living in Denver, Colorado.
Tell me about your life these days. What you guys are up to with your life? Retired, still working?
Mostly retired, doing some work. Yeah, a little bit. Pardon me?
What are you retired from?
Retired from the real estate business.
And you're married?
I am married. Yes.
Any kids?
Oh yes, three children and 3 grandchildren.
I'm a volunteer park ranger at Yosemite National Park. I have 5 grandkids, 4 grown adult children, and live in.
Hi, I'm a retired heavy equipment operator, mostly cranes, and I have 3 children and 10 grandchildren, and they keep me pretty busy.
Hi, I'm also retired and enjoying life right now. I have 3 boys and 3 grandchildren, and I'm still busy raising quarter horses.
All right. My name's Buzz Williams. I'm a retired school teacher and football coach. I'm very happy to be here, and good luck to everybody.
What's it take to be a great coach?
A lot of good players.
Don Reed, class of 52, and I'm not retired. In fact, I've got 3 teenager girls, and I'm enjoying the reunion.
Where do you work?
Work in Orinda.
I'm Loretta Dalby Nixon. I live in Mapleton, Utah, class of 52. I've been married 48 years. I have 5 children and 15 grandchildren and 1 soon to be 16 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. And this is my first reunion since I left high school in 52, and it's been a revelation to see all these old people here.
How come you waited so long?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, and you, ma'am?
I'm Shirley Crook, Flick. I've been married to my husband Gene for 30 years. Before that, I was married to Marion Hopkins Jr., who was a Walnut Creek boy. We had 4 children, and 2 of them are still living, and 1 of them has 3 children.
My name is Aloha Saunders, and I graduated from Akalani's 1952. I live in Danville. I have a small farm there and horses and my pet potbelly pigs. And I'm single, and I taught school for 30 years.
I want you to tell me, has your personality changed since high school? Are you different today?
Not a whole lot. No.
What were you like in those days?
I like to cut school, and I always got away with it, and going to the racetrack and galloping racehorses.
Has your personality changed, Shirley?
A little bit. I'm still shy.
Very much so. I'm much more outgoing than I was when I was in high school. I've had a lot of experience traveling and doing a lot of family history and meeting a lot of people, and that helps.
I guess my personality is about the same. Probably a little bit more outgoing than it was in high school.
Still the same. I'm still a jerk.
My name is Tony Biggs. I live in Mauna Loa, Hawaii. That's on the island of Molokai, and it's great to be here with all these dear friends of so many years.
You're the class of?
51.
Class of 51 also. Petey Schmidt, Petey Bedard Schmidt, and I live in Colorado Springs.
Oh, beautiful place to live.
Sue Tomer Maxwell, and I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, and this is an absolutely unbelievable occasion.
Certainly is.
51.
All of you are 51.
Yes.
Laverne Durante Torchio. We live in Sun River, Oregon. It's wonderful to be here with all my classmates of 51.
Doris Passalaqua, Doris Mortara Passalaqua. I live in Palo Alto, and we need to have this every year. We need to have a reunion every year. It's been fabulous.
Rod Iverson, class of 51. I live in San Francisco, California. I'm just having a fabulous time with my friends and graduates from Akalani's and Lafayette Grammar School.
I'm Marge Bates, Blankenship Bates, and now reside in Netarts, Oregon, and have loved every minute of being here.
Now, I want each of you to tell me, when you got out of high school, do you remember what you wanted to do with yourself? And did you end up doing that or something completely different?
I don't know.
You can't remember?
No.
Well, just tell me about.
I can't remember what I had for lunch. So.
Well, what are you doing these days?
What am I doing these days? Not much.
Give me a hobby.
A hobby? I love to oil paint.
Yeah. Are you married?
Yes, my husband is right here, Lee Bates, and he's a graduate of
How many children do you have?
I have 4 boys and 7 grandchildren.
What'd you want to do, Roderick?
When I got out of high school, I wanted to get out of college, which I did. I got out of Stanford. I wanted to go into the business world, which I did. Went in there, and I'm still in there 42 years later, and enjoying it very, very much. I have 2 children, a boy 36 and a daughter 31.
And Stanford won today, right?
Yes, sir. I understand they did. Beat USC, which is better than beating Cal.
How about you, Doris? What'd you want to do out of high school?
I don't remember what I wanted to do out of high school, but I did want to sell insurance, and that's what I'm doing. I have 2 children. I have a son and his wife who bought my parents' house in Lafayette, and have 1 child, and I have a daughter.
Give me one of your hobbies.
Tennis and bridge, and I do volunteer work too. I have to tell you that.
Girl.
I read to the Head Start kids in East Palo Alto.
Well, I too don't remember exactly what I wanted to do. Did go off to college, but then married my high school sweetheart, class of 50. We have 3 grown children, 8 grandchildren. We play lots of golf and canoe. We have a good life. We're happy.
Well, I'm one of those people. I made my decision and I did it. I became a dental hygienist and I worked for many years in dental hygiene. I retired 10 years ago. Had hobbies involving skiing, tennis. Mostly I dance. I do partner dancing, ballroom dancing now.
I just wanted to get out of college. Rod did. When I got out of college, I got married, had children. I have 2, and I have 3 grandchildren, and worked for the court system for years and years and years, swearing at people, and now I'm retired.
When I finished high school, I started at Stanford because my parents wanted me to. I didn't really want to. So as soon as I flunked out, I transferred to Cal and was very happy at Cal and got my degree there. Went on to become an officer in the Marine Corps for a couple of years and participated in nuclear test activities, which was very exciting. But what I really always wanted to do was to be in the media business, and I was fortunately a pretty successful run at that, and I'm still involved in it and still run 3 media companies from my home in Hawaii.
So Cal against Stanford, who are you rooting for?
Oh, go Bears.
Yeah.
The only reason he left Stanford, he didn't like the wine list at Encina Hall. That's really
Rosati's.
Our name and what? Class of 51. Bob Wickman.
And I'm Walt Saunders, class of 51.
Okay, Bob.
I'm Bob Slauson. I'm in the class of 51 as well. I'm still hanging in there.
Jim Hall, class of 51.
Now, do you remember Jim from high school?
Oh yeah, I remember.
He remembers me from first grade.
Which grammar school did you go to?
Arenda Union Grammar School. We started out in the first grade and ended up went through college and then went through the Navy.
What was Jim like in high school?
Brilliant.
Jim, is there anyone not here from your class you really wish you could have seen? Can you guys think of any old buddies you wish could have been here?
Yeah, Ted Sanford, who died some years back.
Let's see, Zababatel, Richard Zababatel.
Bob, anybody who you...
No, I'm very pleased with the people I found.
I miss his dog, Mona.
I don't know whatever happened to him, but Richard Zababatel. He was in Walnut Creek. He went to the Walnut Creek Grammar School. But I don't know if he graduated with us or not.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Just one more question for you guys. Just tell me quickly a little about your life these days. Retired, working, kids. Where you living?
We're in Corvallis, Oregon. I'm semi-retired. I'm a professor emeritus, and so I still hang out in my office and do some fish work.
And you're married?
Married. 2 kids and 3 grandchildren.
Okay. I'm semi-retired as well, Bob Slauson, and married, have a delightful son. And he's working full-time, and I'm working, like I say, part-time, which is wonderful.
Okay, I'm semi-retired, professor emeritus at Utah State University. I have 2 children by a second marriage and 3 children by a first marriage. Live in Logan, Utah. Very happy and planning to be fully retired in about a year.
Yeah, well, I'm fully retired, living in the southern part of the United States, which I never wanted to do. But we have grandchildren in Tennessee and in Jackson, Mississippi, so we kind of rotate between Houston, Texas, Jackson, and Tennessee.
Ed Broom, class of 51, live in Tucson, Arizona, been married for 33 years to the same woman and having a great time. Eat good, drink good, and play a little golf.
What was your name again?
Ed Broom.
Larry Gillhouse, class 51. I live in Valley Springs, California. Been married to my wife, be 30 years come December. And retired, had a good life, and love enjoying the rest of it. Thank you.
I'm Carole Hagan, formerly minor. I live in Martinez. I had 7 children and 15 grandchildren. I'm a retired nurse midwife, and I'm doing art right now. I'm having a great time.
I'm Dennis Hassler. I'm a class of 51. Retired recently and just loving it. I've got a couple of children, a couple of grandchildren, and life is great.
When you retired for?
I was a real estate appraiser for 40-something years.
Jerry Frills, class of 51, currently owner-manager of a seafood restaurant. I guess my claim to fame is raising 10 children, and I have 18 grandchildren. Life is wonderful.
Give me one hobby.
Country western.
Can't say it here.
Al Moresi, class of 51, retired in Sun City, Roseville, California, married for 46 years, enjoying every minute of it, 4 great grandsons, and if I'd have known I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself.
And what are you retired from?
Graphic arts business.
Now, how's it feel standing next to all these handsome guys, Carole?
Well, I think this is great. I'd have especially loved it in high school. And my husband is going to be jealous.
One more question for the 6 of you. Is there anyone not here from your class you really wish you could have seen tonight? Can you think of any friends or old buddies?
There is.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen Charlie Leach one more time before he passed away, and also Bob Stewart. Both of them passed away this year.
Love to have met with Joy Pearson, because the last time I saw Joy, it was in Japan. I was in the Marines, he was in the Navy, and we were 9,000 miles from home. Korean War.
Well, I also miss Charlie Leach. He and his wife sat with myself and my wife last time. Miss him.
And I'd like to see Gary Reich and his friend that I really loved, Ken Ernst, and both of them have passed on.
I'd also like to see Joey Pearson. He lived right down the street from me, went all through grammar school and high school with me, and I wish he would have been here.
Well, there's a number of people I would like to have seen. They've all passed away. Sylvia Cockerton. In fact, the first one I think in our class to leave us, Janet Woodmansee. There's a lot of great people that unfortunately are not with us anymore.
Hi, I'm Jack Greenlaw. I live in Clayton and I practice in Walnut Creek.
I'm Rosemary Freitas Chiavini and I live in Lafayette.
Class of
Pardon?
51?
Oh, no, yeah, 51, class of 51.
I'm Marie McMurphy Hubble. I live in Redwood City and class of 51.
Yeah, Richard Osmonds and I live in Orinda, class of 51.
I'm Juanita Bolger, previously Velasquez. I live in Hayward and I'm in the class of 51.
Now, did you have a favorite teacher from high school? When you think back about all the teachers you ever had,
My Spanish teacher, Miss Ochoa.
do you still know any Spanish?
A little.
What'd you like about her?
She's just a good friend, really.
How about you, Richard? Who was your favorite?
My favorite one was a Spanish teacher called Marie Wagner from Stanford. She was 22 years old when she came to high school.
Cute.
And I loved her.
How about you, Marie?
I really can't think of any favorite teacher. I did
Never heard
like Miss Ochoa, and then I had a public speaking teacher whose name I can't recall, but was very good.
My favorite teacher was Alexander Winchester.
What'd you like about him?
I don't know, he's just a great guy.
What did he teach?
Physiology.
What about you, Jack?
Yeah, I remember Winchester, and I remember ANZUS too. The science department is where I was.
Tell me about your life these days, Jack. Work-wise, family.
Well, I've been a dentist for 43 years, I guess. I'm still practicing in Walnut Creek. I live out in Clayton on the other side of the mountain. We've got 15 horses and 4 dogs and a busy life.
Any kids?
Yeah, I have 2 daughters, one of whom is a dentist that I work for, and the other one's a teacher down in Los Angeles.
Does she pay you well?
Depends on how much work I do.
How about you, Rosemary? A little about your life these days.
Let's see, I was widowed almost 9 years ago. My husband was Bruno Chiavini, and he went to Acalanes, a class of 46. His brother was Orlando Chiavini, who was principal of Acalanes for 11 years. He was a class ahead of us, 1950.
How about you, Marie?
What?
A little about your life these days, work and family.
These days, I'm retired nursing administrator and live in Redwood City. I had 4 boys, and I have 3 grandchildren.
A little about your life these days, Richard.
I'm still working as a general contractor, but I'm working with my son now, Derek, my youngest son, and it's a real experience. I enjoy it.
Give me one hobby you have.
I had skiing and tennis, but I can't anymore. Look at my back.
I'm putting my life together again since my husband's death. I have many friends and relatives who keep me company.
And how many children do you have?
I don't have any.
Give me one hobby, Juanita, something you do for fun.
One for fun? Well, my home is my hobby, I guess.
You like to fix up your house? And...
Yes, I'm doing that right
good.
now.
I'm Ann Summers. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm in the class of 1951.
I'm Ann Baldwin. I'm in the class of 51. I live in Fresno, California.
Chrissy Inman Freeman, class of 51. I live in Turlock.
Valerie Delano Bettis. I live in Houston, Texas, class of 51.
I hear that accent.
Not anymore.
I can.
Mead Milicic DeClots, and I live in La Habra, California, and in class of 51.
Ann Parker Peters. I live in Walnut Creek in class of 51.
Now, let's go back to 1951. And where would you go on a Friday night back in 1951? Where was the hangout spot? Or on the weekend, what would you guys do?
Start over there.
Oh, I'd go probably the movies.
Me too.
Yeah, in
the movies.
In Orinda at the movies.
I went to the Park Theater with my dad.
I don't remember. No,
It was the Orinda Theater for me.
Let's try the Ream Theater.
Now tell me.
Yeah, was it?
The Orinda Theater had the soft seats. And with the armrests, it was a lot nicer than Walnut
Now,
Creek.
I know there had to be somebody. Tell me who you had a crush on back in high school. Come on, I know there had to be somebody.
No.
Someone you thought was really cute?
No, I'm not telling. My husband, Carl Peters.
Harry. I can't remember his last name even, but I had a crush on Harry.
Well, I went with John. I'm not going to say because he's here.
What's it? Give us his last initial.
C. And he knows who he is.
Steve?
I had a crush on Charlie Weber.
I had a crush on Marshall Freeman. He was a basketball player.
Is that why you liked him?
Yes, he was very handsome and very tall.
Well, this goes back to grammar school, and we talked about this last night. Jimmy Jacobus and I had a crush, but we never got to declaring it.
Okay, one more question for the 6 of you. So far in your life, you could pick something you're really proud of, something you've done. What would it be, Ann? Pick something you've done.
Oh, travel.
Where's your favorite place in the whole world?
Oh, Bali.
Where's your next trip?
The Caribbean.
What are you most proud of in your life?
I'm proud of my two beautiful children and their children.
Give me a hobby today.
A hobby? Tennis. Love tennis and Bible study. I love to teach the Bible. So.
How about you, Valerie? What are you most proud of?
I think raising my three girls, and they are raising productive children that are really, I'm very proud of my grandchildren too.
Give me a hobby.
And I live in a retirement community and teach water aerobics, and I have lots of ladies in their 70s and 80s who are very active, and I'm proud of them.
That's fun.
Oh, I wish I were in your class.
Yeah, me too.
I think one of the things I'm proud of is a mango club I had with the African children. We had a mango club because we had this huge mango tree, and I just helped the kids sell the mangoes. That was one of the big highlights in my big career.
That was in Africa?
Yeah, in Cameroon. And I guess I'm proud of my kids too, my three girls, and my husband. I think he was a great third world medicine, God-loving man.
Have you been back to Africa since then?
No, we haven't. We've been home for 9 years. Haven't been back yet.
How about you, Ann? What are you most proud of?
Well, let's see. I'm proud of kind of surviving a very up and down kind of life, raising 4 great kids, teaching school. I'm still doing that. And running a marathon when I was 50. I'm proud of those things.
How fast did you run it?
How fast? Just under 5 hours. Yeah, for 50, that was pretty good.
And did any teachers from Alcalanes inspire you to become a teacher?
No, I didn't want to be a teacher at all, but it was the only thing I could be a secretary or a nurse or a teacher. And I didn't want to be a secretary or a nurse, so I went to teaching.
And what are you proud of, Ann?
Well, I'm proud of my newfound career. I'm going to be world famous horticulturist someday, but in the meantime, I garden. Yeah, I garden and do landscaping and work in a nursery. And that's about it. And I love my kids and my dogs.
Jane, Yale, 1951. Acalanes.
And your maiden name is?
Ponting.
Where you living?
Denver, Colorado.
Are you a Broncos fan?
Absolutely.
Charlie Weber, class of 51, living in Oakland.
Jenny Litke, class of 51, living in Santa Rosa.
Do you still keep in touch with anybody at all from your class?
No.
Nobody. How long has it been since you've seen all these people?
50 years.
It's your first reunion?
Yes.
Tell us why you waited so long to come to this.
Well, because it's our 50th, I thought, my gosh, it's about time. I got lost in the shuffle from college and working and moving and whatnot.
Glad you came?
Oh, you bet.
How about you, Charles? Do you keep in touch with anybody?
Some friends, but not any of this particular group mostly. But since I've lived here in the Bay Area most of my life, I still see some people. But I missed the 40th, and I just decided this was the time to see it.
How about you, Jane?
Yes, I do keep in touch with one person. She was in my class, and she was one of my bridesmaids in my wedding. Mead Milicic de Klotz.
Tell me a little about your life since high school, Jane. A little about what you've been up to, work, family.
I have a daughter. I have 2 grandchildren, and I own a business. I own a travel business. And I haven't retired yet.
So do you travel a lot yourself?
Yes.
Where's your favorite place?
Just returned from Egypt in the good days.
Okay, how about you, Charles? A little about your life since high school.
Well, I'm still in the boat business. I've been in the boat business most of my life. I now restore antique wooden speedboats in Oakland. I've been doing it I've been in business in 1961. Still doing it and having a good time. A wife, an ex-wife, 5 children, 7 grandchildren, one at MIT.
How about you, ma'am? Tell us what you've been doing for 50 years since no one's kept in touch.
Oh, my God. Working, traveling, building houses, and I've got 2 children, 5 grandsons, anywhere from 12 to 23.
And were you able to recognize people tonight?
No, it was difficult because if you don't have the yearbook and if you don't have your glasses on to look at the names, then you have difficulty.
Was there anyone at all that you recognized right off the bat?
No. No.
Do you remember these 2 from high school?
No. I mean, yes, looking at their badges, yes.
Go right ahead.
Peggy Gray, class of 51.
Ann Cole, Ann McAllister Cole, class of 51.
Now, were you 2 friends in high school?
Yes, we were.
Tell me what kind of stuff you did for fun back in 1951, Peggy. What'd you do for fun in those days?
We were in the modern dance group, and that was a lot of fun. We danced a lot.
That was the fun. The highlight of our high school, I think, was the modern dance class. Wouldn't you think?
Yes.
Tell me something you've done in your life since high school that you're really proud of, an accomplishment that you feel like you've done.
Well, accomplishment, well, I started the Sacramento Tree Foundation. So that I'm proud of that.
Did you get married?
Oh, yes, here's my husband. That was definitely a highlight.
Has she been a good wife?
Excelente.
How many children did you have?
3.
What are you proud of, Peggy? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
7 grandchildren. Sorry.
What are you proud of, Peggy?
I won a silver medal at the Alameda County Fair for a painting.
And what kind of painting was it?
Well, it was sort of surreal. And I had 5 children and 2 husbands. And
Are you having fun tonight?
I'm having fun, yes.
Okay, I'm Wally Rue, and I'm living in Hood River, Oregon, and I'm class of 52.
Yeah, I'm Hy Bronson, and I live on Camano Island in Washington, about 50 miles north of Seattle, class of 52.
Bob Kleckner, class of 52, live in Tahoe, California.
Hi, I'm Margaret Solomon. I live in Lake Oswego, Oregon, class of 52.
Bob Westland, class of 52. I live in Concord, California.
You got a number underneath there?
13576.
Nancy Carlson Cotterill, class of 52, and I live in Moraga.
Now, I've already talked to you, haven't I?
I know.
Yeah, okay. Jim Keefe, 1952, anonymous, AKA, and that's it, man. I'm living in Fairfield, moving to Angels Camp, and you want to keep on talking longer? I got the verbalization. Go ahead.
Richard Ting, class of 1952. I live in Newport Beach, California. I'm a surfer. I play tennis every day and work out. Look at this.
Yes.
Can you arm wrestle Jim? Who would win?
Oh, God.
Oh, I got...
He's overmatched.
I want to ask you guys. I want to ask you a question. Go ahead.
Hey, we already spoke the one.
Okay, you guys.
Why does he get bigger?
When you got out of high school, what did you want to do? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
And did you end up doing that or something different?
I joined the Navy.
Tell us a little about your life since then.
I became an engineer for Northrop Corporation, and then I retired early and went up and worked for Boeing, and ended up working for Freightliner in Portland.
Any kids?
2 girls.
Give me one hobby you have today, Wally.
I have boating, bicycling. That's 2 hobbies.
What'd you want to do when you got out of high school, Dick?
Well, let's see. I wanted to be president of Montgomery Ward, but things didn't work out, so I opened my own store, and my wife and I were in a clothing business for a long, long time, and I was the president of my own company.
And tell us what you do these days for fun.
For fun, I work out in the gym 2 to 3 hours a day. I play tennis twice a week.
Oh, God.
And
how much can you bench press?
350. I'm into kind of free weights, and I got a bad back, so I can't do anything over the head. So it's out, it's up, and but I've lost 35 pounds.
Right there.
35-inch waist. And I weigh less now than I did when I was in high school. I'm 190.
Oh, I'm not going to take this.
Next.
Okay, you asking me?
Jim, what do you want to do out of high school?
Jim, okay, what I want to do in high school, probably get out of it. But anyway, I wanted to be a dentist, and unfortunately, I became a dentist. I'm still a dentist. My hobbies are golf when I hit the ball, and we got 5 children, 7 grandchildren, and they're spread around the whole world. And that's about it. I did what I wanted to do, and I did it. No regrets.
Now, Nancy, did you already tell us all this?
No. I was going to be a concert pianist, but instead of that, I'm an opera singer.
Can you sing us one line? Come on, just one.
No way.
Come on.
How about you, Bob?
Hey, Bob Westland. Went in the Navy out of the service. Following that, got into printing. Eventually owned my own company, selling printing presses and equipment and supplies. Retired now. My main hobby now is treasure hunting.
Any kids, Bob?
Pardon?
Any kids?
We got 4 and 8 grandkids.
Actually, I became a high school teacher in Solvang, California, and Evergreen, Colorado. But when I got my last master's, I have 2 BAs, 1 master, and 2 teaching credentials. I was overqualified. I went into insurance, did very well. Went into real estate when I moved here in Oregon, actually. And now I'm back in insurance. And liking it very much. I enjoy playing golf and painting oil paint.
Well, there you go.
So how many years did you teach?
Actually, I taught 4 years.
4?
Yes.
So what do you think of these guys over here?
I think they're pretty great. They've accomplished a lot of good things. I isn't through, though.
She gets to talk before you. So.
Go first, talk first.
We got one
Where
still
are
on
we?
the end that's missing here.
Are we okay? I just want to say my wife is Monica, and she's gorgeous. That's it.
Yeah.
She's right there, Monica.
Has he been a good husband to you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
All right, sir, what do you want to do out of high school?
1952. Oh, what do I want to do? I want to join the Navy.
Is that what you did?
I went to college. I joined the Navy. I became a Navy pilot. And I stayed in the Navy for 28 years. I saw the world. I married a Navy nurse. I'm still married to her, 37 years. We've raised 2 kids. We have a grandchild. Then I decided that I wanted to do something completely different. So we moved to Washington State, and I took advanced studies in environmental planning. I became a land use planner, and I did that for 17 years, and I finally just gave up on the whole thing and decided I wanted to goof off, right?
My name's Wayne Brannon, live in Crestone, Colorado. Class of 52.
Phyllis Burnt, class of 52. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Gary Schallenberger, class of 52, live in Paradise, California.
Gary, how has your personality changed since high school? Are you different today?
Yeah, I'm more outgoing. I was pretty shy when I was a kid.
I was going to say.
So were you too shy to ever ask girls out back then?
Yeah, I really was.
How about you, Phyllis? Have you changed?
Yes.
How have you changed?
I was very shy in high school, too. And I've gotten a lot more broad-minded, liberal.
Now, what would you have said if Gary would have asked you out back in high school?
Probably yes. Nobody did that too much.
How about you, Wayne? Have you changed since high school?
Oh, probably. I've lost my red hair. That's one change. I wasn't shy then. I'm not terribly shy now. But some changes.
You go back and relive those days. What would you change, Gary? Would you be any different? The school, anything like that?
I don't think so. No, no. I had a good time.
Me too.
I'd pay more attention in class, study a little harder,
Oh, come on.
read my assignments.
I'd participate more in the music program. It's the only regret I have at high school.
Are you into music now?
No.
Well, tell me what you're doing with your life these days. Retired, married?
Semi-retired educator, still do some work. Married 47 years, very active in the community. healthy, and praise God, going to stay that way.
What kind of educator were you?
Elementary school principal, teacher trainer, all kinds of things.
How about you, ma'am? What about your life?
Oh, I'm retired. I live in Scottsdale. I'm just having fun. Golf, tennis. No tennis. Golf and bridge.
Any kids?
3, 2 sons and a daughter.
How about you, Gary? What are you doing these days?
Oh, I'm active in politics. I'm active in the church. I'm active in a community chorus. Well, singing a choir. That's one of my favorite things to do. And just keeping busy.
Jim Jacobus, class of 51. We live in Grass Valley.
I'm going to have this guy join you.
Come on, get in here, Eddie.
What are they doing?
Hey, let's answer the man's
What's your
questions.
name?
Oh, Ed Ambrose.
You're living in?
Livermore, California.
Class of 52.
Class of 52.
John Barnett, class of 52. Henryville, Utah. Bryce Valley.
And I'm Bob Bennett, class of 52, in Tacoma, Washington.
Ernie Saunders, class of 52, Pinole, California.
Hi, and I'm Max Bennett. I'm brother of Bob Bennett, class of 54, and I live in San Clemente, California.
Is there anyone not here that you really wish you could have seen? I know you probably can't answer this because you're class of 54, but the rest of you guys, anyone not here from your class you wish you could have seen?
Yeah, Eric Murray, Howard Flanders. Maybe he's here, though. I don't know.
You got somebody?
I do. I mean, I'd love to have seen Gary Estes here, and I'd love to have seen Don Badgley, but I found out he would die.
So you keep in a lot of touch with these classmates from 51?
Yes, I do.
How about you, Bob? Anyone not here you wish you could have seen?
I can't remember her name. But I'm looking. David Finzel, Keith Blakeney, Walter Cole. Who else, Eddie?
Well, the only other one that I can add to that is Art Seiler. He was our president, and haven't seen him since we graduated.
No, I'm like Max Bennett. I was so looking forward to seeing Don Badgley. I was terribly shocked to hear that he's no longer with us.
One more question for you guys. When you got out of high school, what did you want to do? Do you remember? And did you end up doing that or something different?
Oh, something different entirely. I had no idea what I was going to do.
Tell us what you did.
I became a police officer and a private investigator for 40 years.
You retired now?
Yes.
Family, married?
No, I'm not married, but I still have a family, children, everything.
How about you, Ernest? What did you want to do out of high school?
I wanted to be an engineer.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
And you're retired also?
No, still working. Now I'm a marriage counselor.
Give us if you could give one piece of advice on a good marriage, what would you say?
Talk to each other and listen.
How about you, Bob?
I didn't know what I wanted to do out of high school, but the Army gave me a job for 2 years. Best thing in the world that ever happened to me.
Really? Okay. What'd you do after that?
Ultimately, I went into insurance, and I did that for my lifetime.
You got married?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Any kids?
Yes, 2.
I forgot to...
Boy and a girl.
Ernest, how many kids do you have?
Well, actually I have 4. 2 still at home.
John, what'd you want to do out of high school?
Get married.
You still married to the same lady?
That one over there is number 7. And she treats me better than my other 6 wives all put together.
That's great, John.
And how many kids do you have between all these wives?
3.
And are you still working or retired?
No, I'm retired.
From what?
I sold my copy machine business and retired.
How about you, Ed? A little about your life. What'd you want to do?
I wanted to be an architect, but because of the Korean War and the threat of being drafted, I joined the Air Force, who in turn introduced me to electronics. And then from there, I went to college and ended up in a physics field, dealing with accelerators for 32 years.
And you've kept that shirt for 50 years.
Yes, I did. Yeah, but down, I use accelerators to keep it right.
And you have kids?
Only one, yeah.
Well, what'd you want to do out of high school, sir?
I just went on to college at Berkeley and then eventually became a stockbroker in New York.
And you're married also?
Yes, sir.
Give me one hobby you have today.
A hobby? I'm pretty sedentary. Reading, I guess, would be the hobby of my choice.
Any kids?
Yeah, we have 3 kids.
I do. Hi, I'm Diane Owen. I live in Pleasant Hill, and I'm from the class of 1951.
Hello, I'm Eleanor Domingos Noon, class of 51. I live in Martinez.
Hi, I'm Jan Lee Tender Wilson, class of 51, and I live in Sonora, California.
Now tell me a little about your life since high school, Janet. A little about what you've been up to. Family, work.
Well, I worked at Salisburyville School for 19 years. I retired from there, and my husband and I have been doing a lot of traveling. We just bought a new motorhome, and so that's one of the great outings that we're doing.
How many children do you have?
I have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren.
How about you, Eleanor?
Pardon?
What about your life these days?
Happily married. We raised 6 children, 5 sons and a daughter. We have 13 grandchildren, another one due in 2.5 weeks. My husband's a retired firefighter, and we raise cattle, and he raises crops, and we ranch a little bit.
Well, I'm a single lady, not looking. I worked for Blue Cross for 42 years, retired in 95, and I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm enjoying life.
Is there anyone not here from your class you really wish you could have seen tonight, Janet?
Well, quite a few. I attended Acalanes High School later on in my high school years, so I didn't have a lot of friends, but I had a great boyfriend, and his name was Eugene Plyler, and I was kind of hoping to see him here, but he's not here tonight.
How about you, Eleanor?
I wish Barbara Machado could have made it.
Elizabeth Ball, she was a good friend, and I'm wondering where she is.
Yeah, the Whitcombs were crazy people.
Are you the motorcyclist?
Say what?
Were you the motorcyclist? I thought
Not
you were.
me. I would never ride a motorcycle.
No, you were, weren't you?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
My son is a motorcyclist.
A son?
I said, Dick Dickham. I said you were going to be here on your motorcycle tonight.
Who's this beautiful lady next to you?
My sister. How about that beautiful lady?
That's your wife?
My wife.
She doesn't want to be in.
Emily. They only want $200 for the video of this.
Tell me what you're doing these days, Dick. A little about your life.
I get tattoos.
That's about it?
No, I do a lot. I build them street rods and custom. You're just doing this for a living, right?
Oh, yes, that's why
How
I
long
said.
ago was he? I just come here to check and see if the people are still alive. Hey.
10 years of fantastic.
You don't know me. Yes.
Nancy Carole.
Hi, Nancy. My name is Beth Pendleton O'Neill. I was in the class of 52, and I've just moved back to Berkeley, and I'm just retired.
Adele Pence, class of 52, and I live in Grass Valley.
Rosemary Sorge Garman. I live in Oakland, class of 52.
Proud of us.
Nancy Carole Gray, and I live in the wine country in Windsor.
Nancy.
Don't we look great? And don't we look wonderful?
Tell me something you've done in the last 50 years that you're pretty proud of. Something in your life. Give us a highlight.
Something in my life, I'm painting again, and I'm selling them. And I paint on silk and wearable art, and I do that, and people are buying, so I'm kind of excited.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married, and I have 2 children, and I have 5 grandchildren.
How about you, Rosemary? Since high school, tell us something you've done that you're pretty proud of.
I'm not out on the highway driving.
Scared of those freeways?
Yeah, I almost killed the high school gardener when I was taking driver's ed, so I've never driven.
And so give me one hobby you have today.
I read murder mysteries.
And are you married?
Yes, I'm married. I have 2 children and 2 grandchildren.
And what are you proud of, Adele, in your life so far?
Oh, I have a good marriage and 3 children and 7 grandchildren.
And what are you doing these days? Give us a hobby.
Traveling.
Favorite place in the whole world, what is it?
Oh, I think Lake Tahoe.
Okay. And how about you, Beth? Tell us a little about your life.
Well, let's see, most proud of, I also have 3 daughters and 4 grandchildren I'm very proud of. I've spent my life in affirmative action, educational opportunity, and civil rights, and I'm proud of that. Changed the country.
Hello, this is Bill Nardini, Jerry Nardini's husband. It's a thrill to be here, a pleasure to be here. We've been waiting for this for many years. It's one of the great moments of our lives. What a terrific bunch of people. And I'm the senior citizen here, so I'm not sure how to handle these younger people.
Hi, everyone. My name is Faye Cooper Booth, and I am in the class of 52, and I live in Colfax, California.
Just tell us about your life these days, Faye. Family, still working?
I am. I'm still working. I'm married. I have 2 beautiful daughters. I have 4 gorgeous grandchildren. I am still working for another couple of years. I work for the County of Placer in the District Attorney's Office, and this is my very first class reunion.
Tell us what took you so long to come to one of these.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a reason.
Were you hard to find? Hard person to find?
No. I just
want to wait till the special one.
I did. I wanted to wait until the 50th or the 49th. So.
Okay.
My name is Dwayne Hodge. I'm in the class of 1951.
And your wife is in 52.
My wife was Chris Johnson from 52.
Do you know a lot of people from that class as well?
A number of the young ladies, because we associated with them, and my wife went to college with 4 of them, and that's really where we really got to know them.
Dwayne, just tell us about your life since high school, a little about what you've been up to.
Well, I went into the Navy after college, University of Utah, spent 2 years in the Navy, got out, and then went to work for a refinery company called Tidewater Associated. Tidewater Associated was bought out by Phillips Petroleum and eventually by Tosco, and I spent 32 years with the refinery company for the Avon Refinery.
Any special words you want to say to all your classmates, Dwayne, after 50 years?
Just that, hey, isn't it great that we're still around, that we can do this? Not too many of us are still around, but it's wonderful to see a lot of the old friends.
All right, I'm Denton Holmes, Akalani's class 1952, and my wife Sandy.
How long have you two been married?
15 years.
Tell us how you two first met. Do you remember?
Blind date in Seattle, Washington. Yep.
Introduced by a mutual friend.
Right.
Was it love at first sight for you?
No.
Nope. Nope. Took a while.
Where did you guys go on your blind date? Do you remember?
Went to dinner. Yep.
Chinese restaurant, home by 9:30. It's great.
Now, when you think back about Akalani's high school, Denton, what do you remember about that time? What stands out in your mind?
Well, great class, great school, good teachers, great weather. I competed and ran on the track team, and we had a great track team.
You still run today?
I walk.
And tell me a little about yourself. What else do you do? You retired?
Well, no, still working. Spent most of my career in broadcasting.
Okay.
But I've been in the pension business for the last 10 years.
What kind of broadcasting did you do?
Radio and TV.
Sports?
Well, I didn't do play-by-play. I was a sales rep. Sold advertising.
Any special words you want to say to all your classmates, Denton, after 50 years?
Boy, we look a little older, don't we?
Ann Reynolds, and I'm living in Piedmont.
And your husband just walked away from you.
Right. My husband and I both were in the class of 52 at
We interviewed him earlier.
You talked to him earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you having fun tonight?
Yes, it's great. It's really great.
Has your personality changed since high school, Ann? Are you different today?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm probably pretty much the same.
Tell me a little about your life these days.
Well, I spent my life teaching high school students and counseling. So I've just retired from that. So now I'll have to find another avocation.
What's it take to be a great teacher? What do you think?
Oh, love of learning. That's all you teach.
Any teacher from your high school inspire you to become a teacher?
Yeah, Mr. Handley was my math teacher that I really respected. Miss H was the dance teacher and an English teacher who encouraged me, and Mr. Walgren, the principal.
And being a teacher, how do you think the kids are different today than back when you went to school?
Well, in this day and age, they have the TV and the internet that we didn't have, and lots more news media, so a lot more primary sources.
Hi, my name's John Cashman, known to many as Big John, and I was a graduate of the class in 1951 at Akalani's. I made a career of law enforcement in Walnut Creek with the Walnut Creek Police Department, and I went on to retirement 15 years ago. Had a good life, and I'm now a firearms dealer and a licensed private investigator, though I really don't do a darn thing but hang around the house. Anyway, I'm so glad everybody attended, and we had such a wonderful time. I looked forward to it for a long time, and I'm just thrilled to pieces. I'm so glad we have Mr. Raines of Raines Video taking a video shot of this for all of us to keep. Anyway, God bless you all, and good luck, and maybe 10 years from now we can have another one. Okay, bye.